Hey, welcome back to Agogi Game Academy, or as we like to call it, AGA. Today we have a review of a great game, won Game of the Year back in 2018. It's called Azul. Many of you have probably heard of it. Publisher looks like it's Next Move.
Yeah, I don't know them. They may be big. We don't know them, though.
You know, we're not sure who they are.
But they did a fantastic job on this game.
It's a great game.
So we're going to get into Azul and everything about it and what we think about it. But before we do, we had a game night a few weeks ago where we played all the last 10 board game of the year from 2010 through 2019. So this was included, obviously. Azul was included. And we just kind of played them all in one night, gave our opinions, thoughts, you know, which ones just weren't as good, which ones rose to the top as the best game. So if you want to check that out, we'll link it up here above us, and definitely go do that. Other than that, we'll get back to the video. Azul is an abstract strategy game, which is just a fancy way to say there's no real theme that's integral to the game as far as what you're doing. It really isn't important. You could remove that and it'd be totally fine. But really fun game. Let's look at specs.
Yeah, looks like, you know, they recommend age 8 and up.
Which is kind of weird to me. I don't know. I think that's a little low for this game. It's not a hard game, but 8, I don't know if playing with an 8-year-old is going to work. I would say more like 10, 12
Probably 10,
maybe.
11, yeah. 2 to 4 players. Takes about 30 to 45 minutes. Kind of a normal time limit for a game, right?
And I would say that's about right. 30. Probably from what I've seen, about 45 minutes is the closer. I don't know about you. Is that what you think?
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, and then setup and cleanup is a couple of minutes. There you got to set some circles up in the middle that everyone can draw tiles from, and then the boards. But there's really nothing to it. It's pretty simple. Difficulty, like I guess we kind of covered that just a second ago. I would say, it's a little bit more difficult than from what an 8-year-old can play. I guess they could play and reasonably do okay. But it is high strategy in this game, and so there's a little bit of a learning curve on how the mechanics work, how you actually complete the task, but it's very simple. To be good at it, obviously, is a whole other thing, but to actually play it is a pretty simple game, and so it's not something that I would worry about if you're looking at it maybe at Walmart or Target, wherever they have it on the shelf. It's well worth buying. A little bit of learning. You can look at a game reviewer that, what do you call it? That does the kind of a run through of the game and explains all the rules and stuff. Fairly easy. But as far as how it plays, so really in essence what you're doing is it's supposed to be the stained glass of something or another, and you're collecting pieces of glass and you're aligning them on your own personal board. There's this communal pile in the middle, and you take turns taking them out and putting them on your own board. And so once you've collected a certain number, you can move it over to your permanent board where it stays. And you earn points depending on what order you choose it in. You can kind of accumulate points, and if you've gotten a whole row of stained glass, you can get extra points, and if you've gotten all the same style, right? So all these, you can actually kind of see some of the patterns up here. If you collect all of these snowflake-looking ones on your board, you get an extra 10 points and stuff like that. Really fun game, more fun than I thought, actually. I saw people playing it when it first came out, and I thought, man, that doesn't look like a game I want to play, and they finally twisted my arm and made me play, and it's gosh, I'd say it's one of my favorite games. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said in previous videos, I like strategic games, and this is very low luck, very high strategy game, and that's why I like it.
Yeah, I think there's obviously the luck of when they pull the tiles out and put them on the boards in the middle, but other than that, I mean, it's just, hey, did I do it right? Did I pull the right ones at the right time?
Did I place it correctly, or should I have put it here instead?
Yeah, exactly right. I think as far as what makes it fun is that. Okay, so I do want to explain, though, here, the communal piles. So if you have 4 players playing, I think there are seven glass displays is what they call them. And so what you do at the beginning of a round is they'll put 4 stained glass tiles. Actually, let me pull one out. Can you pull one out as I'm explaining this? They put 4 of those stained glass tiles on each one of the displays. And yeah, here, perfect. Just grab one of these right here. And so you can see them.
Looks like
they're
Starburst.
different. Yeah, it does right there. That's like a red Starburst. Actually, my kids think they are Starburst. But they're these little things, and so they'll put 4 of these on the each display, and then whoever is first, determined by kind of this number 1. Anyway, We won't get into that, but depending on who is first, you can take only one color and all the rest. If there are 4 different colors or 3 different colors, you take 2 of these blue ones, and then there are 2 other colors. They go to the middle, a pile in the middle, and then that starts to accumulate and get bigger. Anyway, point being, the way that whole part of the game works makes it so fun. I don't know what it is about that, but they just nailed it. And so I would also say that's what makes it replayable, because depending on who you're playing with, people like to take certain strategies, and it even if they like a certain strategy, sometimes they're forced to play a different way, and so games just tend to be different all the time. Okay, so let's talk about best scenario, best number of players to play with. I don't know. I would probably say
2 to 4.
2 to 4. I would say it's probably 2 in my experience. It's fun with 4, but like any game, you get fewer turns, and so with this game, I just think taking turns more often is more fun. But man, we still play it with 4 players, and I don't have any problem with it. It just changes a little bit, and so I guess that's my answer is 2.
Yeah,
Probably 2.
I mean probably 2. Like he said, the more players you have, the fewer turns you're allotted.
Like any game, but I just think this game is affected a little bit by that, and so I would say 2 players.
Right.
Okay, 1 to 2 unique aspects. We actually talked about this before the video, and I would think that you'd probably echo what I'm saying. I would say what I mentioned earlier, what makes it so fun is also the unique aspect. How if you take tiles from one of the displays, the rest go into a middle pile, and then you can choose tiles from the middle after that. And so there's just, like I said before, there's just something about that I really like. And we were talking about that, and that's just really fun.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the strategy involved with the tile placement and everything.
Which one to take when? Do I go for one of the outside ones versus one of the inside ones?
It's definitely unique in that aspect.
And then which one do I take, and where do I put it on my board? Anyway, it's just really, really fun. Cost, I think it's $35 depending on where you find it and when you find it on Amazon. Again, a game well worth it in my opinion. I think it's $30 to get a game that you'll play over and over and over again and really enjoy. Okay, 1 reason to buy. Okay, my reason, you can say what you want, but my reason is a stupid one. The little tiles that we just showed you, there's something about those. I don't know what it is about well-made game pieces. It's the same with Splendor before they changed it. They had kind of those tokens you could pick up. There's just something about them. They're heavy, substantial. Same with these. I just like to play it because they're these little cool
square
pieces, and they just feel nice, and they're smooth and whatever. Honestly, and that alone wouldn't do anything, but because it's a fun game and then they have cool game pieces, man, that's my reason to buy. I love it.
Yeah, and I've said this in other reviews, but the aspect that you can play it with 2 people, right?
Yep.
My wife and I have 2 kids, both young. They can't play games with us yet, and so this is a game that we could play together. If we're just staying at home.
I agree.
And it's also, if I'm getting together with Nate and his family, we could also play with 4 people, right? And so that's definitely a reason to buy. You can play it at home with your spouse, with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, but you can also have friends over and play it.
Yeah, I mean, and not to give you a reason not to buy, but it is only 4 players, and so you can't get a substantial number of players to play. But man, 2 to 4, if it's just you and your spouse or you and your significant other, and then you and a couple other people, perfect game, fantastic. There's a reason it won Game of the Year. I really enjoy it, and so definitely go out and buy it if you're thinking about it. Other than that, we hope that we've earned your subscription today. If not, please at least give us a like if you thought it was good information. We also want to hear your comments. Comment below. What do you think about this game? Should it have won Game of the Year? Should some other game have won Game of the Year? Is there a game you like more than Azul that's similar to it? Leave all that down below. We love to hear your feedback. Other than that, we will see you next time.